Hi, welcome to We Mean Business podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Katrina Papadakis with Guaranteed Rate.
I am Lisa DeWitt with Corner Escrow. We are not here to judge, but we are here to talk about it, aren't we, ladies?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. You like that? Isn't that
Yeah,
fancy?
sounds fun.
We are so excited to be here today. We have just done a rebrand and we are excited for all the things to come, aren't we, Katrina?
Yes, we are.
Welcome back, I guess.
Welcome back again. So today we have Courtney and Brel from Mogul Realty.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yes,
Hey, girl.
we're so excited to have you, and we
you.
so appreciate you taking the time. So I just wanted you to tell a little bit about yourself.
I am a realtor, a wife, and a mom of 6.
Holy
And I have 2
Toledo.
big dogs. But life is very busy, and we only have 2 left to graduate from high school. So
That's
we're
good.
almost empty nesters. Like we're
Nice.
super close to being done.
Are you guys excited about it or are you a little
Oh, I'm
sad?
thrilled.
Oh, God. Okay.
Can't wait.
A long time
Days.
ago,
Some
someone
people,
gave me
yeah.
mom advice because I was a stay-at-home mom and my kids were my whole focus. That like I needed to be okay when they left. Like I
Yeah.
needed to find hobbies or
Mhm.
things to do. And to be honest, real estate has been very beneficial for me in that aspect because I can focus on my clients as my children. And as my children leave, I have other things to
Yes.
focus on. So I don't feel alone in
Yeah.
a sense. Like
Yeah.
I'm just used to the noise and the clutter and the all
Yeah.
the busyness, and real estate can be very busy. So it's been a good transition
That's
of
the goal.
yeah.
I know. I have a daughter who is 18 in 6 months, so I'm counting as well.
Yeah.
I'm
It's just
not
kind of fun to
counting. I
watch
have a
her grow up.
2-year-old.
Yeah.
And I
She's
never
at
want to
the beginning
leave.
stages.
I never want him to leave, right? I never want him to marry. I don't want him to know another woman.
Your
and I
opinion
never
will change over time. Trust
For
me.
sure.
You'd be like, go.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread those wings and
I
fly.
am, however, excited for that stage because
Right.
you get your husband back a little bit too. And I really
Right.
like mine.
Yeah.
So I would like to have that one-on-one time, which you don't think about when you have a baby.
Yes.
Because it
Right.
goes away. She gone.
Yeah.
You know,
She gone.
you're here. You're here.
Right.
So what's wild, I don't think a lot of people know, is you started your career in real estate in January of 2020.
Yes. Right before COVID hit.
Yep. And since then, your Instagram followers, you have 7,500 followers.
Yes.
That's wild.
It is. And I
And
think
they're
it's-
all natural. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wild.
So tell me how that started and what made you like pivot like a lot of us did, but what made you jump into that?
Well, I mean, I had just got my license, so I was not sure what even to do with my real estate license, to be honest. I hadn't really started my training or anything like that, and the world shut down,
Yeah.
and we were locked inside. And I was like, well, shoot, is this God's sign that I'm not supposed to be a realtor? Or are there other ways for me to let people know, hey, I'm starting my real estate career?
Right.
And I had done mommy blogging for years. So social
Yes.
media aspect made sense to me because it's a way to get the word out and spread the word without like
Wildfire,
it costing
yeah.
much but time
Mhm.
and a little bit of creativity
Yeah.
and really just daily posting, being consistent with every day. Here I am in the morning.
Mhm.
People look for my Facebook posts. They
Yeah.
look for my Instagram posts. What's Courtney posting about today?
Yeah.
And it helped me grow my community. And most of my business, especially this year, has been from my social media.
So
So-
when you started in January 2020, you did your first real estate post. How many followers did you have then?
0.
Oh, so you started a brand new page.
Yeah. So I already had 2 Instagram pages.
Yeah.
I had one that was my personal one
Okay.
and one that was for my mommy blogging that I've had for years.
Right.
I was mommy
So that's
blogging
why I
from
wanted to
2009 on.
Specify on that.
Yeah,
Because if you were
so-
a mommy blogger before, some people might think you brought it with you. But
No, I mean, I did post on my mom blog page.
Yeah, of
Hey,
course.
I'm a realtor now.
Yeah,
Like, come
go
follow me.
Yeah, of course.
And not very many people did,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
honest, because a lot of my mommy blogging followers were not local.
And they're there for that.
Yeah, they
Right.
wanted to see the products that we were talking
Right.
about.
They're like,
Remember,
we don't
they
need to
care
know
about
another
houses.
realtor.
They
Yeah.
don't care. They don't want to know about interest rates or anything like that. They
Yeah.
just want to see like what products work for mom and don't.
Yeah.
So the majority of my followers on my Courtney Brel Selves page was people in the area, small businesses that I could connect with, and just people.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew, which is really cool. And I
That
love
is
it.
super cool.
Yeah.
I love it too. I really love following you. And then you do TikTok as well.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm a little
You're on the
embarrassing to my
TikTok.
kids.
Okay.
I'm
I
on
haven't
everything. I
gotten
even
on
have
the
like the
TikTok yet.
X.
Yep.
or what's
Your
it was Twitter, but now,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Okay.
it's like
Don't
all the
ask me.
things.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I'm still learning some of them.
Yeah. TikTok's like a pit. You'll be in that thing for like 3 hours. I'm like, oh my God, did I just scroll through that many
Just like
recipes?
Oh,
Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think, where do you see yourself in this business as far as, for the next, 5 years and your goals and things like that?
honestly, I just want to keep helping people do what they need to do with real estate. I'm not like a certain number of transactions a year kind of
Mhm.
person. I mean, I obviously have bills to pay and kids to help
Yep.
go to college. We're about to leave on Saturday to drive 18 hours to set
Wow.
up 2 girls in their dorm.
Wow.
So it's a lot, but my goal is always to take care of my clients
Yeah.
and whatever that looks like. Some years it could be no, none, 1, and some years it could be 20. I'm not judging my
Right.
success based off of how many transactions, which
Yeah.
I know a lot of realtors do, and that's
Mhm.
fine. That's just not for me,
Not
my
your
goal.
business plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to back up a little bit. When you started your social media, what was the experience or for real estate?
Yeah.
What was the experience you had when you first went on social as a realtor?
I think that it was very confusing because if you rewind back to January of 2020,
Yeah.
realtors were not posting
Nope.
their business.
Right.
And they definitely weren't exposing other sides of themselves besides, I sold this house.
Yep.
I sold this house.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm in escrow.
Right.
Oh, I'm in
Yep.
contract.
Yeah.
Like, so, and for me, it was like, I really want people just to genuinely know who I am.
Yeah.
And I know social media can like give you a false perspective on who
Yeah.
a person is. But
Yeah.
if you follow me for long enough, you will have a pretty good idea
Who
of
you are.
who
Yeah.
I am, good or bad. There's
Yeah.
been pictures of me crying from COVID because I did not deal well with it. And there's been videos of me doing stupid TikTok dances because it's Friday and we're excited to go out and house hunt with my clients for the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was confusing.
Yeah.
Some people could consider it negative. For me, I found it more of a challenge because I was going to show people that I'm stuck in the house, but I can still grow my business
Right.
and
Yeah.
people can still learn that this is what I'm doing. I'm no longer a server at Chili's. I'm now selling real estate. So
Yep.
follow me and let me, list your house for sale or let's go
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Well,
And
yeah.
now if you look, social media is one of the main
Mhm.
ways
Yeah.
people are
Yep.
advertising their
Yeah.
real estate business. And so while I may have been like a little confusing and like goofy back then, I was onto something, obviously,
Well,
which
yeah, you
felt
were like
really
setting
good
a stage,
because
honestly. So that's
Yeah.
why we wanted to have you on here. One of the biggest reasons
Yeah.
was because you really, maybe not you specifically, but other realtors who did just as you did, really set the stage for what our world is now, right? So
right.
during COVID, when everything shut down, there were 2 types of realtors, and I've had clients of both. One was paralyzed. They didn't know what to do. They didn't
Right.
do anything. Either they were scared of what was
Mhm.
happening, or they just didn't know how to shift or pivot,
They
whatever
froze.
the word you love. They froze. And
Yeah.
I've had
Mhm.
even realtors now talk to me about like, hey, I need help jumpstarting my business because the last 2 years I froze. I didn't know
Mhm.
what to do. I was a realtor for 20 years and social wasn't part of it. And
Right.
now it's so much part of it. And then you have
Mhm.
the other realtor who was just like, okay, or a person, because I did it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm stuck at home. I can't be out networking and meeting people. So what do? Jump on to where all I
Mhm.
can see is people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Let me
So-
talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Please.
Talk
Let me talk to
anybody.
somebody.
Anybody
Yeah.
will listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I started just doing stories
Yeah.
because mentally I knew they wouldn't be there forever.
Right. And
You'll
you
go away
hated it.
24
You're
hours,
like,
so
"It
if
will
I
only be
embarrass
there
So I was
24
like, this
hours."
will be here 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then if I don't like it, I don't have to delete it. And I just started with that
Felt
and doing
cute, might delete
stories
later.
and
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And then it just evolved from there. So totally.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's just been kind of fun. And honestly, I'm a like one take kind of girl.
So how do you do it? Because let's talk, because a lot of people, you said every day.
I
every
post
day you
every
post.
day.
So
I've
do
even
you
posted
just
on
wing
vacation.
it and you're like, this is what I'm doing, or you just get inspired?
So you can do it a couple of different ways. And I have in the past scheduled things out to where I know what I'm posting for that week. Like I'd go on Canva and make a week's worth of posts and like they would be pretty uniform.
Mhm.
And then there are some weeks when I just don't care and I'm going to post random things of my dog with flowers like I did this week or whatever, because I'm a real person and not everything in my life is planned or organized all the time.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot going on with like my kids in the summer and getting everybody
Yeah. Now they're all
settled.
over
You're
the
just staying
place,
in
right?
front of people.
Yeah. And they just need to see my face every day.
Mhm.
They need to know, oh, hey, when I'm ready, Courtney can help me buy or sell a house.
Right.
Oh, hey, when I'm ready, like she can educate me. And honestly, like the thing that I find the most humor in is my kids' friends follow me,
Mhm.
which like at first they're like, Mom,
Mhm.
like
So
ugh,
you're so
they see you on
embarrassing.
TikTok and like,
Yep.
I'm like, so,
Yeah.
but I'm actually educating that generation
Yeah, of
on like,
course.
what's
Yeah,
an
good
earnest
for
money
you.
deposit?
Yeah.
What's a
Yeah.
deed? Like, how
Yeah.
does real estate work? And so
Mhm.
their parents might need a realtor
Yep.
or they might need one
Yeah.
when they're ready to buy.
God
And I'm
willing.
in this for the long game. I'm not
Right.
looking to like
Yeah.
be done. And so I might be helping them buy homes someday. And to me, that's like really fulfilling because like
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, I learned about this from you. Like, okay. And it's not
Yeah.
as scary
You're
because
impressionable.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Right.
unknowns in real estate until you've done it. Or
Right.
even when you've done it, it can be very stressful. And just knowing knowledge is power. To me, knowledge, knowing things and educating yourself
Yep.
is super, super important because it makes things less stressful for you.
Was there ever a time when you're like, okay, I'm done. Like this business
Yes.
is not for me.
Yes. In
and
fact,
I
I
have
got a
all
different
these
job.
people who don't like me, or I'm frustrated, and they're, because I know it could be scary putting yourself out there for everyone, and you're so raw with
Yeah.
it. You're definitely not calculated. You're
No.
just very natural who you are, and I
Yeah.
think sometimes, it could be scary doing that and being that vulnerable.
I think with the social media, I'll never stop. It's
Yeah.
just kind of my daily routine now. I get up,
Yeah.
I pour my cup of coffee, and I do my posts of whatever I'm going to post for the day. But with real estate, yes, it can get very stale. I can get very in my head. I'm my own worst critic on the daily. Like,
Aren't we all?
no one's calling. No one wants you to list their house. You suck, Courtney.
What do you do to get out of that?
And so I got a job last year. I
Wow.
got a part-time job
All right.
working for Marietta School District
Yep.
on
Here we are
a special
shifting
needs
again.
bus.
Okay.
And I basically got up very, very early in the morning, had a awesome bus driver that we got along with really well.
Yeah.
And we went and picked kids up from their
Mhm.
homes, dropped them off at school. I had a break in the middle of my day to check my emails, to do my
Yep.
real estate stuff. I could even go show property. And then in the afternoon, I got back on the bus with them and we rode and dropped them all off at home. And I got to bond with those kids. I got to
Yeah.
meet their families.
That's
It
so
was the
cool.
coolest experience ever. I loved doing that too because I actually started getting busier with real estate because I wasn't
course.
sitting on the couch dwelling on the fact
Of
that
course.
no one was calling. My phone's not ringing. Like, am I going to have a transaction this year? Like, I suck. And then I was like, okay, I don't really suck. I shouldn't just sit and dwell on
Yeah.
that.
That's the
And-
golden rule.
Yes.
If you ever want to get busy, you go on vacation.
Yeah.
And that's true.
That's
Mhm.
true. Or you
Yeah.
get a different job.
That is true.
Or you get a different job.
Yeah.
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 Something to split your focus.
And
So you're
it
not
worked
sitting
out
there.
because it
Yeah.
was part-time. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't
that's
too
It's
much of,
early, and people aren't looking at real estate early in the
no
morning.
one's wanting to
I
go
am
see a house at
definitely.
5:50.
Always the weekends and when they're off work. So
Yeah.
it was perfect.
Yeah. So and I wasn't
made it
working on
work.
the weekends.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you are only focusing on real estate and kids are going off to college, I know Katrina asked you if you had like an end goal or five-year plan
Mhm.
in real estate, but like what does the next several months look like for you? I know you're shipping kids off to college, number one.
Yeah. So on Saturday, I'm leaving for
Mhm.
3 weeks. We're driving
gosh.
cross country
Wow.
with 2 cars and 3 kids.
Okay.
To get 2 of
Bless
my
you.
girls moved in. One's going to TCU to start her 3rd year in nursing at Texas Christian, and the other
Wow.
one is starting her freshman year at Dallas Baptist, and she's going to
Wow.
be cheering and stunting.
Cute.
And so my family actually all lives in Texas.
Oh.
So we're making it kind of like a family vacation.
Vacation.
My
Yeah.
husband's flying out halfway through, and then
Okay.
he and my son are flying home to get him off to school because school starts the same day I'm moving my
And he's
daughter
still
into
in high
her
school,
dorm.
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
he'll be a junior this year.
Okay.
And so yeah, so that's that. And
Okay.
then when I get home, it's the hustle's back on again.
Yep.
You're going to
Real
be seeing
estate.
more of me asking to put my sign in your yard and looking for
Well, I'm
things
sure
to
you'll get
do.
busy since you're taking a 3-week vacay.
And
Right,
tell
probably.
tell me a little bit about your schedule. Like, just are you doing open houses on weekends? Are you just calling your past clients? Are you just reaching out doing, what
So
do you-
it's a mix of everything. Follow up with my clients is huge. I was going to tell you, like one of my favorite social media stories is I had this girl following me, and she contacted me on my messages and was like, hey, my sister wants to buy a house in Menifee. And I was like, okay. So we started looking, and they ended up buying a townhome. Well, then the mother and father need to sell their house. So we list their house. Then they want to find a retirement home for the two sisters, and their husbands are all going to move in together for a retirement home, which I would never, I love my sister, but I would never live with my sister in retirement, but it worked out for them.
I would. That'd be so
for
fun.
2 years, we looked for a unicorn home. It's what I called it, because the requirements they were looking for them to be able to all move in together were
that's wild. You
pretty
almost have to have, like, two houses merged into one.
Yeah. And also there was a special needs gentleman that was also going to be living on the property with them. And so we ended up finding it. It's in Wildemar. It worked out perfect. It's like a compound. I call it a compound. And they built a house for that gentleman on the property.
Wow.
So he has his own place. And then we had to sell their houses, and they live in Oxnard. So I had 2 listings in Oxnard.
Yeah, that's right.
So how many people did you?
So it was a 5 transaction thing from one Instagram follower, and she never did business with me.
Huge.
It was just all of her family. And so now they're my honorary family.
That's
like
so cool.
I went to a wedding for the ones that moved in the townhome. Like it has been like truly like a family thing.
That's
and
so cool.
I know that if they need something in the future, they'll call me.
Right.
And it's kind of funny too, because the one situation turned into a probate, and the client was a probate lawyer. So he got to help. It's just been a whole thing. So it's really cool how you never know how someone following you on social media could know someone that needs some help, or know that their whole family ends up needing your help. And that's been really cool.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
So one thing you said a little bit earlier was consistency. So you're consistent on your social media, and someone eventually will need a house, and or your kids' friends and all that kind of stuff. So
that's a hope.
I saw, that's the hope. We hope for that generation, don't we? Please.
Call me when you're ready.
Or interest rates.
Yeah. Interest rates.
Katrina.
That'll make people jump.
But something that I just saw recently was you can say things over and over again every single day, and then someone will come to you and be like, oh, I didn't know you did real estate.
Right. Oh, I had no idea.
Wild thing.
I post like every day. Hashtag realtor.
Yeah.
Like, don't you see that?
It's in your handle.
Yeah. But
they
don't
what do you
realize.
They don't know. Yeah.
Real estate.
Yeah.
That's all I'm selling.
That's the most wild thing to me. So I'm guilty of I always think, oh, they already know. They're going to know. I mean, not with escrow, because nobody knows what escrow is. It's okay.
What is escrow?
Yeah, I know.
Can you explain?
I mean, I can't really.
Another podcast.
I was going to say another podcast, and not in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But I always am like, oh, people know, or people assume. And that's a barrier I always have to break through to myself, because I'll post something and then someone's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Or for some reason, I started using another company, and I'll come back to you.
Oops.
Like, first of all, ouch. But then also, she's not a realtor. She's an investor. So I cut her some slack.
Yeah.
But isn't that crazy? Like with social media, I think that's one of the hardest hurdles to break through, is people are like, oh, they already know, or I don't want to be too much, or I don't want to overshare, or I don't want to overshare, meaning too many times, not information.
Right.
That's true. But that's the biggest hurdle, is people are
getting them to know what you do.
Balance
you have to break through that. You have to that's, I guess, negative self-talk. But people don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and think about how many people are watching your story different times of the day, and different whatevers, or your posts, or
one of the other ways that I used when I first started to advertise that I was a realtor was I had t-shirts.
Yes.
And my t-shirt said all kinds of things about real estate, so that if someone was out shopping they would approach me because my shirt had some sort of realtor term, real estate term, like, hey, ask me for my card, whatever.
Did you put those on Etsy?
I used to buy them from Etsy.
Okay.
And because I didn't make them.
Okay.
I used to support small business buying all of these shirts.
Okay.
And I probably have like 50 in my closet.
Really?
And when I first started wearing them out, my kids were embarrassed. Mom, do you constantly have to be telling people you're, and I was like, yeah, I do. Like, this is an easy way, because I'm
going
a walking
to college?
billboard, but I
do you want to go to college?
Anything. Yeah. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just like, don't pay attention to my t-shirt. It's a t-shirt. Like, no big deal.
Exactly.
But
and you would just wear them around town.
Yeah. I go to Hobby Lobby with my t-shirt on. And honestly, it's funny because
Or she would post
I
with
know
them.
people know my face because I'm on social media so much that like, but I seem unapproachable sometimes to people, which is
You have
weird to me.
RBF?
No.
It's just like, and I've met people that are like,
Definitely
oh my
not.
gosh, Courtney. And I'm like,
Aw.
I wish I knew your name right now. I feel
Yeah.
really bad that I don't know who you are,
Yeah.
but thank you for following me. Like, I
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
for saying something to me
Yeah.
because I'm not anybody famous. Just because I have 7,500 followers. I'm a mom. I'm a realtor. Like, I'm literally trying to pay my bills.
Yeah.
But like, I'm very approachable too. So if you see me out in the community, please say hi
Yes.
because that makes me feel good. And it also makes me know that my daily efforts are paying off.
Yep.
Even if you never sell or buy with me, like, at least I know that you know who I am. It's name recognition.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
Katrina and I feel that way too when we get famous from our podcast. Make sure you say hello.
Oh my gosh, Lisa.
I'm serious.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes.
coming on
yeah,
today.
you're welcome.
Oh my
This has been a
gosh.
We are
blast.
so happy to have you, our
So
first
good.
guest after our
Yes.
rebrand. We're very
I'll be back
excited.
next year.
Yes.
Have an anniversary post.
Yes.
You could be the first one every year.
Sure, why not?
It'd be so
You
fun.
like
Maybe
a
next
little
year I'll wear a
series.
red dress.
All your success and all your, then by then you'll be empty nester or coming into an empty
Close.
nester.
One more
Almost,
year. Yeah.
My gosh.
Well, thank you so much for doing this
Yeah,
with
my
us and
pleasure.
sharing your, you know,
Hey, cheers,
everything
ladies.
you've done. Yay!
Cheers.
I wish it wasn't water,
Cheers.
but just kidding. And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you follow Katrina, Courtney, and I on all the socials. We'll have them in the show notes for you. And a big thank you to Glenn Grant with Endeavor Video Marketing for producing our podcast today. See you later.
Bye.